today during Black History Month to celebrate the entrepreneurial legacy of the Brayboys, owners of Chief's Creole Cafe. Like a hearty bowl of gumbo, the Brayboys and their beloved cafe brought comfort and community to neighbors across the Deuces corridor and beyond. Their commitment to preserving and investing in Black-owned businesses remains a pillar of their community advocacy. Carolyn was born and raised in Blakely, Georgia until 6th grade when she moved with her parents to St. Petersburg. She attended Perkins Elementary, now known as Johns Hopkins Middle School, Gibbs High School, St. Pete Junior College, and Florida State University, earning a bachelor's degree in business and a master's degree in finance and marketing. Her parents were sharecroppers and were often financially strained. After school, she would get dropped off in the cotton field and was told to pick cotton. How about that? Mr. Brayboy was born and raised in Waiahawa, Hawaii, where his parents were civil servants during Pearl Harbor. His grandparents agreed to raise him until he moved to St. Petersburg in the 7th grade to live with his mother eventually. He attended Immaculate Conception Catholic School, Bishop Barry High School, which is now St. Pete Catholic, and Bethune-Cookman University, earning a bachelor's degree in business administration. His mother was a nurse at the segregated Mercy Hospital. His father was a mortician at Sanchez Funeral Home. But they both grew up in the height of the Jim Crow era, where Black residents in St. Pete were forced to live in what's now called Midtown area, just off 22nd Street South. When he was attending Immaculate Conception right next door to 16th Street Middle School, Carolyn spotted him and asked her friends who he was. They dated throughout high school and separated in college. They were separated for 10 years, during which he moved to Louisiana before deciding to move back to St. Pete, and found out that Carolyn was divorced. They've now been married for 46 years. A year after Carolyn had been diagnosed with stomach cancer and was recovering, her minister had a message for her from Isaiah chapter 61, verse 4. You are to restore the ancient ruins, the wasteland and devastation of many generations. It was then that the Brayboys felt the calling to their service in the Deuces. As St. Petersburg changed and gentrification spread throughout the city, the Brayboys were instrumental in protecting Black-owned businesses and reviving 22nd Street, the entire South Corridor, a historic African-American business community district. In 2014, they purchased the Sidney Hardin grocery store building, the only grocery store serving St. Petersburg's Black community for decades, and they transformed it into their neighborhood corner diner. Despite the false perceptions of the Deuces and racial bias from lenders who repeatedly denied them business loans, Chief's Creole Cafe served customers renowned crawfish, po' boys, rice, and beans, drawing customers from across the Tampa Bay area for a decade until they closed their doors in 2023. With a large mural of Louis Armstrong on the outside of the cafe, the vibrancy of Black culture can still be felt without even walking through the cafe's doors. They're not just culinary connoisseurs, but champions for affordable housing and historic preservation. Preservation of Black culture and life in South St. Petersburg. In 2008, the Brayboys purchased the first Black-owned commercial laundromat. Following the purchase of the cafe, the Brayboys purchased the old 9th Avenue service station, 2021. From a service station to a 1,900 square foot commercial space, it's been divided into 3 separate affordable units, and neighbors are now able to call that renovated space their home. The Brayboys have additionally purchased the Dr. Gilbert H. Leggett building, a rundown commercial building that belonged to Dr. Leggett, one of the city's first African-American artists. Additionally, Carolyn looks to expand her garden with flourishing collard greens to alleviate the food desert in South St. Pete. And through every season of their life, the Brayboys have remained steadfast in ensuring that all people, regardless of race, deserve to live, work, and play in a healthy and affordable community. They're dedicated partners on the Bike Tour of St. Pete Black History Tours, enthralling each tour group with their lived experiences of growing up in South St. Pete. Their talk is the highlight of the tour. And with the connection made, they've brought resources to the community and help for Black-owned businesses. The Brayboys are proud parents to their children, Augusta Akins III, Lene Brayboy, and Ramona, who has a servant's heart as large and warm as her parents. She is at the helm of the Deuces Farmers Market, Sunshine Fresh Market, which hosts local vendors to sell fresh foods, homemade goods, and often local music by Black artists. On behalf of our St. Petersburg neighbors, I commend the Brayboys for their determination to preserve Black history while renewing meaningful investments to current residents. In a time where division seeps deep, we all must take note and inspiration from the Brayboys. Their menu of wise lessons. You can solve a lot of problems if you eat.
You know, it's amazing, get put in positions that you don't always know about. We're very much honored to be here today accepting this award. It means a lot. We started out with a guide, internal guide, that said you ought to restore, renew, and we're trying to do that. And we've had a great journey. We're having a great time, and we're never going to retire.
But it is quite encouraging. When we did act on those properties back in 2008, today you could not have done the same thing today because of the high costs and the gentrification. So we're very proud. Over 12 different businesses operate through our buildings, predominantly female entrepreneurs. So we're very happy of that and very proud of that. Thank you so much.
It was so thoughtful for Nikki Gaskin Capehart and the Pinellas County Urban League to give another commendation as well. Right.